They are the least spy people in the universe. There are things you don't know about them, Daisy.
Aunt Lydia may be about to become Gilead's worst nightmare. And no, I don't mean she's suddenly going to grab a machine gun, kick open a commander's door, and start an action movie. Come on, this is Aunt Lydia. Her most dangerous weapon may be a file cabinet and the ability to say "under his eye" without looking suspicious. The Testaments has officially been renewed for Season 2, and after Season 1 passed 45 million hours streamed globally, Hulu clearly isn't done with this world. Showrunner Bruce Miller even said the writers began working on the second season before Season 1 aired because he wanted continuity and already had a huge amount of story planned. But after that finale, one story feels especially dangerous: Aunt Lydia's secret war. Season 1 didn't suddenly turn Lydia into a good person, and thank goodness for that, because imagine Aunt Lydia waking up one morning and going, "You know what, I've been a little rude." No, that would be ridiculous. Instead, the Testaments did something far more interesting. It started showing us the psychological damage inside Lydia and the horrifying choices that helped turn her into the woman we know. The flashback episode Stadium is probably one of the clearest examples. Lydia is forced to prove her loyalty to Gilead by apparently shooting Vidala. The gun is empty, but Lydia doesn't know that when she pulls the trigger. Think about that. She believes she's killing someone. She still pulls the trigger. And Anne Dowd herself discussed the horror of that moment and the question Lydia has to live with afterward. How does she continue after what she's done? And that's where Lydia becomes really fascinating, because Lydia survived Gilead by becoming useful to Gilead. She learned the system. She learned its language. She understood how powerful men operated. She learned when to follow orders, when to enforce rules, and, probably most importantly, where the ugly secrets were hidden. For years, that knowledge helped Lydia survive. But what if she now starts using it against Gilead? Now we have a problem. Well, Gilead has a problem. We're just sitting on the sofa watching it happen. The Season 1 finale, Secateurs, already showed Lydia crossing a very dangerous line. Daisy and Agnes are desperately trying to save Becca from the eyes, and somehow their determination starts moving people around them. Commander Weston, Garth, and even Aunt Lydia are pushed into action. Then, Becca kills her abusive father, Dr. Grove, and Lydia doesn't simply stand there and let Gilead's law crush Becca, she manipulates the situation. Lydia helps create a false story, placing the blame on Mrs. Grove. Mrs. Grove accepts the sacrifice and is executed, while Becca survives. Now, let's be very clear. This is still morally horrifying. An innocent person is sacrificed to protect someone else. Lydia isn't suddenly wearing a superhero cape, but something has changed. She isn't simply enforcing Gilead's rules anymore, she's twisting them, hiding the truth, and deciding who the system sees as guilty. And once Aunt Lydia realizes Gilead's rules can be manipulated, hidden, and weaponized, those commanders may want to start checking behind them, because Lydia has access. She knows the machinery. She understands how Gilead deals with accusations and secrets, and she may now understand that the system isn't untouchable. It can be played. Then we get that quiet moment between Lydia and Agnes. Daisy has already dropped the enormous truth on Agnes. Agnes is Hannah. She is June Osborne's daughter. For years, June's struggle in The Handmaid's Tale was connected to getting Hannah back. June has so little access to Hannah and so little information about where she was that fighting Gilead itself became the only path she could see. But some of June's biggest victories also pushed Hannah further away. After Boston was liberated from Gilead, Commander Mackenzie was reassigned to Washington, D.C., taking Agnes with him. For June, that was actually a small geographical victory because Hannah was now thousands of miles closer than she had been in Colorado. But closer doesn't mean reachable. Hannah was still trapped deep inside Gilead. 4 years later, when The Testaments begins, Agnes is still in the D.C. area and June is coordinating Mayday operations from Canada. Then Daisy enters the picture, and Daisy accidentally gives June something she has desperately needed, a direct connection to Hannah. When Daisy talks about the Gilead girls she has met, June realizes one of them is her daughter. Suddenly, Daisy's mission isn't just another Mayday operation, it has become deeply personal for June. And Daisy immediately tells Agnes the truth. Now, Agnes knows. June knows where Hannah is, and Aunt Lydia knows exactly who Agnes really is. And Lydia stays quiet. She doesn't panic, she doesn't immediately report Agnes. Instead, Lydia tells her that June never gave up. That's such a small conversation, but it could become incredibly important in Season 2 because Lydia is now holding dangerous information. She knows Agnes's identity, she understands what June represents, and she chooses silence. It's not exactly normal Aunt Lydia behavior, is it? And this is where the board becomes really interesting. Daisy has the anger, Agnes has the identity, and Lydia has the access. Daisy's decision in secateurs may be the spark that brings all three of these pieces together. June comes to pull Daisy out of Gilead completely, and considering Daisy's behavior, you can understand why. Daisy has been brave, but she has also been borderline reckless. Her actions have put her relationship with Gilead in danger and may have complicated things with Mayday too. June doesn't want to lose more people to Gilead. Even after discovering Daisy's connection to Agnes, she hesitates to send Daisy back, but Daisy refuses to leave. She sounds a lot like June. Daisy argues that she has to stay because of the girls around her. She believes she can help them. By the end of the finale, she's even talking about building an army of teenage girls and attacking Gilead where it hurts most. An army of teenage girls inside Gilead. Yeah, I'm sure the commanders will handle that calmly and rationally. Absolutely no history of overreacting there. But Daisy's ideas could create the perfect situation for Lydia's secret war to grow, because Daisy wants action. Lydia may offer information, and information could be far more dangerous than open rebellion. This is where Margaret Atwood's novel becomes very important, although the television series has already made major changes. In the novel version of the Testaments, Aunt Lydia secretly works against Gilead. She becomes a mole connected to Mayday and collects evidence of corruption, adultery, murder, and hypocrisy among Gilead's elite. Eventually, that information is smuggled into Canada and helps create chaos inside the regime. Now, we cannot simply say Season 2 will copy that story. The show has already moved far away from parts of the novel. The biggest example is Daisy. In Atwood's book, Daisy is secretly Baby Nicole, June and Nick's daughter who escaped Gilead. Baby Nicole becomes a major symbol of the outside forces threatening Gilead, and even 15 years later, the regime continues pursuing her return. The television timeline creates a major age problem. Nicole is still a young child at the end of The Handmaid's Tale, while The Testaments jumps forward only 4 years and presents Daisy as a teenager close to Agnes's generation. So the show separated Daisy from Baby Nicole. Let me know your theory in the comments, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications for more of The Testaments Season 2 theories and updates. Thank you so much for watching, and Under His Eye.